Year 1997. NASA's Mars Pathfinder lander and rover arrived at Mars during July this year. Princess Diana is killed in a car crash. The first successfully cloned mammal is revealed by the Roslin Institute. The Lion King musical on Broadway debuts. Microsoft becomes the world's most valuable company, valued at $261 billion. And also, on August the 6th this same year, in one of the most famous moments in Apple history, Steve Jobs reveals that Microsoft invested $150 million in its rival. Although often presented as an inexplicable gesture of good faith on the part of Microsoft boss Bill Gates, the cash infusion into Apple actually benefits both companies. In exchange for the money, Microsoft received non-voting shares in Apple. Jobs also agreed to introduce Microsoft's Internet Explorer for Mac. Apple, on the other hand, got both the cash and the guarantee that Microsoft would support Office for the Mac for at least 5 years. While Apple was struggling at the time, it did have approximately $1.2 billion in cash reserves. Nonetheless, the cash boost from Microsoft definitely did not hurt. Perhaps most importantly, Apple agreed to drop its long-running lawsuit that alleged Microsoft copied the look and feel of the Mac operating system. This lawsuit raged for much of the previous 10 years, and Microsoft got to look a bit less monopolistic at the time when it was catching the attention of antitrust authorities. As you can see, everyone wins. Jobs revealed the new Microsoft investment in Apple at the Boston Macworld Expo. This proved a crucial event for Apple, since it established Jobs as Apple's new CEO. Unfortunately, the staging was not ideal for Gates' part of the announcement. The Microsoft founder appeared via satellite on the screen behind Jobs, dwarfing the Apple boss.
And it's very exciting to renew our commitment to the Macintosh.
Many Apple fans in attendance who didn't know all the details of the arrangement heard the news. Gates' investment wasn't the only announcement made at the 1997 Macworld Expo.
Apple is executing wonderfully on many of the wrong things. The ability of the organization to execute is really high, though. I mean, I've met some extraordinary people at Apple. There's a lot of great people at Apple. They're doing some of the wrong things because the plan has been wrong.
Jobs also took the wraps off a reorganization of the Apple board of directors. They were an awful board. A terrible board, Jobs said later in comments published in his biography. Only 2 of the original Apple board members carried over, Gareth Chang and Edward Woodard Jr., both of whom helped depose Jobs' predecessor, Gil Amelio. I agreed we would keep Woodard and Chang, Jobs told Walter Isaacson, author of the Steve Jobs biography. He described Woodard as one of the best board members he's ever seen. He also added that he was a prince, one of the most supportive and wise people he's ever met. Chang, on the other hand, turned out to be a zero. He wasn't terrible, just a zero, Jobs said. The most significant departure was Mike Markula, the first major investor in Apple back in the 1970s, in place of the old Apple board. Jobs installed a new, more favorable group. Members included Intuit CEO William Campbell, Jobs' longtime friend and Oracle boss Larry Ellison, and Jerome York, a former CFO of IBM and Chrysler. The old board has been associated with the past, and the past has been a failure, Campbell said in a video shown to the crowd at Macworld. The new board brings hope. The transition signaled the start of a major turnaround for Apple. Just 21 years later, Apple became the first US company in history to be valued at $1 trillion. And that was just the beginning. Although often presented as an inexplicable gesture of good faith on the part of Microsoft, it was completely explainable. But the explanation is often left out of these stories, making it sound like Microsoft was being magnanimous. At that time, the other reason Microsoft did this was because they were caught stealing the code of QuickTime from Apple to use in their Windows Media Player. And thanks to this payment, they settled out of court with Apple. What a great way of waiving troubles and look like a superhero at the same time for Microsoft. But hey, let me know what you think about it in the comment section below.